Okay, welcome to Coming Out with Cannabis with your hosts, Christina DiArcangelo Pooler and Wayne Kelly. Today, we're talking to Andrew Serafini. He's the founder of C2C Life Sciences. Looking forward to this one. But first, CP!
Well, welcome everybody. It is Thursday. We don't have any days today to say like national this or national that like we usually do. It doesn't mean that we haven't done our homework. It just means for today we don't have something. But we do have Andrew today, and we're super excited to have him on because Andrew and Wayne and I have been working together for quite some time and have even banged around in a conference as well together. And Andrew recently joined the Affinity Patient Advocacy Board as well, which is really important for our viewers to understand because when patients contact us through APA and ask for advice with respect to CBD products, Andrew is the guy that I send them to. So welcome, Andrew. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Nice and early from San Diego. Nice to see you guys.
We do appreciate you joining us so early, Andrew.
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
But here in Pennsylvania, we only do it so that we can have a reason to, or an opportunity to see sunlight, so
That's right. That's right.
We get to view sunshine through you, behind you, because we don't get much of it here. Looking forward to this conversation, Andrew. I mean, you have so many things going on. The World CBD Awards. I can't wait to hear a little bit about that. But more importantly, the mission behind your work. Because as you mentioned in our pre-conversation, man, it's a mission, not a business. So
right. Absolutely. Yeah, we got into this space, my wife and I, about roughly 5 years ago, and really found that the need to help people and why the CBD and medical cannabis industry is really burgeoning is because people are sick. And at the end of the day, it's really important that we focus on the client or the patient and really put them back at the center of care and bring them supplemental solutions to help give them a better quality of life. And it's happening not only here in the United States but all around the world. People are discovering this incredible botanical that's providing an additional way of living that's a better quality of life, and we're all seeing that anecdotally but now clinically. But more of a cause than a business, right? We're in the cause of helping people, and it's really a pleasure to come into this space and understand just how integral this botanical can be for people across the spectrum.
One of the things that I want to compliment you on, Andrew, is the fact that I came to you right after I got diagnosed with my Hashimoto. In 2008, early 2008. That's when we started working together on my own healthcare. And one of the things as a patient that I appreciate about you is the fact that you listen to the patients. And usually, sorry, we're doing a home shoot today, folks. So I apologize if you hear the doodles today. So maybe it's National Bug Day. I'm unaware of it.
We don't care.
But
Doodles needs a little interview too.
I think so too.
The crazy doodles. Clearly they didn't take their CBD today because they're a little wacky. But no, seriously, in all seriousness, when I started working with you, Andrew, yes, we had a relationship, but I hadn't spoken to you about my medical issues until we got on the phone. And you were and you still are, fantastic. If I had questions, you were there to answer them. If you didn't know, you researched or you spoke to a colleague and you helped me out. And I think that's really important, especially as a CEO of a CBD company like you are. No one usually has access to that CEO at a CBD company like the patients do here. And I think that's really important to mention, Andrew, and to give you those kudos because it's rightfully deserved.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that. It's more, I was just doing a study and the average doctor spends 4 minutes with a patient, right? And so how in that interaction can you really discover what's happening? And, being a former paramedic and honorable, serviceman from the Air Force, understanding that people and serving people, in my mind, is really where it's at. And it really requires putting, people first and having a listening ear to really understand the conversation and where we need to take it.
Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things, Andrew, I really appreciate about you and your company. You're a man of integrity. And your company follows suit. So I really appreciate that. And that's one of the reasons Christine and I feel so confident about, mentioning your company and you to our patients and our colleagues because of that. At least I do personally. So I do appreciate that. Thank you. I think with C2C Life Sciences, we are launching our new website. We've been in development for about 6 weeks now, and really are bringing some education-based tools, not only to providers, but to the general public, so they can understand a bit more about how these compounds work, as it relates to their specific condition, and really giving valid and credible tools for people to improve their health with. And I think we're starting to see more and more with the medical cannabis and CBD space really, getting some legs under it, that valid and accurate information is absolutely critical. So we're hoping to provide that conduit across the United States and, of course, internationally. Nice. Real quick, I know Christina will have something to say. I think she's waiting. What's the URL for your webpage, if you don't mind? We can share it. We haven't launched the site yet. It is in beta. Yes, okay, so the new site will be up in less than 2 weeks, and nice. We've been working very hard and putting our scientific advisory board and all the right pieces in place, and very excited for the new launch. Awesome. Very cool.
I must say it's been exciting, to watch. He knows it's me so well because I've been sitting here quietly.
She's biting her tongue over there.
Well,
come on, wait her moment.
Yeah, I want to make sure Andrew gets out what he has to say because Absolutely. It's very important. I want the viewers to understand what type of leader he is in the industry, and the fact that Renee, his wife, has years of experience in this industry as well. And they joined forces and they've built this company from the ground up. And I'm excited. I can't wait to see all of the things that they are going to be working on. And I must say, selfishly, I'm so glad you guys did this now because, as you know, we're also planning our big City of Sisterly Love, say that 60 times fast, in Philly. And Renee and Andrew are attending. Andrew is a board member because it is a women's event. So that's how he snuck in. And then Renee is
Don't tell anybody.
Well, I thought I saw an email about a new dress you were going to wear for the show.
That's right.
We'll wear it during the event.
I'm still working in the heels, but the dress looks good.
But yeah, no, seriously, and Renee is going to be on a power panel about empowering women, and I think she's very well suited to join forces with the other two panelists, and we're actually going to invite, and she doesn't know this yet, but we're going to invite her on the show as well if she feels comfortable, as we're getting closer, because we're going to bring in some of our panelists in advance so that those that are interested in attending the event and purchasing a ticket, they'll get a chance to see the caliber of individuals that they'll get to interact with, not only during the conference itself, but during the mixer. So I'm excited that you guys are coming out to Philly. Serena's coming out as well, who she's on our board. So it's going to be a great event. I mean, we're working on food trucks and all kinds of. I mean, it's going to be the biggest event I think I've ever put on in my career, and that's including the biotech side. So this, because we want to make this a national brand, so we can go to other states like Tennessee, for example, where they just squashed any possibility of passing medical cannabis as a treatment for patients until next year. What is that? Right. We know this, right? The better you educate people and you come up with facts, and the more research we all do, and luckily, the Cannabot will help as well, with the data aspect of things.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's important for us to support initiatives, like the conference that you're putting on in July, and for Renee to really to support the women's growth in this industry and support really those leaders in this space that are truly making a difference, and that's really driven by a passion to help others, right? And to really
Exactly.
raise the level of health and awareness in this industry, and start all pulling from the same end of the rope.
Mm-hmm.
The industry's been fragmented largely, since its inception. And I think those of us that are really focused on sort of patient-centered outcomes and science and
Exactly.
evidence-based approaches
Hmm.
is really where the rubber meets the road, and how we can move the needle in the direction that we need it to.
Hmm. Well,
I think that's a
oh,
great
go
point,
ahead.
Andrew, because this is something that if any of our viewers have watched previous episodes, which I hope you have, um, we talk about collaboration and teamwork in this industry, and sometimes inherently there's a lack thereof,
It's vital.
and there's
Vital in
dirty
this industry.
pool politics. It's every day. I mean, I don't know, Andrew, if you saw what happened in Philly yesterday with one of the medical cannabis physicians who basically they removed the DOH removed his license to practice in the state of Pennsylvania because he was smoking on air and obviously during treatments of patients. And it's upsetting that this has happened, but people just went viral with this, like it's a scandal, which I understand it's a bad thing that happened, okay, and there has to be sanctions and accountability measures, but the fact that people are now making him, this poor physician, the whipping post, so to
Hmm.
speak.
Mhm.
Now, I understand people are trying to make an example, but there's a way to do it with professionalism, right? And
Right.
even with Martin Scarelli and all the crazy stuff he did in biotech and pharma, right? And he went to jail. And I'm not saying this physician should be going to jail. I don't mean that, but I'm just saying I'm trying to have a conduit between traditional medicine versus medical cannabis and CBD. I mean, at least that guy, he's got a fan page now and stuff. So, I think we just need to be better about how we communicate these things. And when something happens, we need to learn from it. But that doesn't mean we gossip and make fun of people. It's not right.
You're absolutely right. I think, we're at a really unique time in history to
Mhm.
recreate the narrative, right? And with traditional healthcare, I think healthcare has largely been lost because of profit. It's always, the
So,
focus has always been on money and how we
Right. The
can make
bottom line.
money.
amen.
And if we can get organized as an industry and all start pulling from the same end of the rope to recreate
Right.
this narrative, put the patient back at the center of healthcare, and really, and
Hmm.
build from that premise, I think it's going to really improve the quality of lives for millions of people across the country, whether they're dealing with chronic pain or they're dealing with a more aggressive condition or ailment. There are different options that are outside of the traditional healthcare model that seem to be more effective, and we're looking to prove that every day with the more clinical research and evidence-based approaches to really bolster medical cannabis and CBD.
Well, I want to keep us on track. I really appreciate what you're saying. I want to go into the World CBD Awards if we could for a minute, because I know Alexa's going to remind me to wrap it up here very soon. So let's talk about that if you could.
Absolutely, and it's a great segue, with Christina mentioning that we can do better. That's really the
Oh,
event
absolutely.
theme, is that
Hmm.
we can do better. We can do better at putting the patient first. We can do better at sourcing and farming and extractions and analytics and production of products, really with the spirit of excellence that's required for the end user to get a benefit from.
The
So,
patient.
absolutely. So, we really look at the industry and see, this incredible upswing in people that are looking for different solutions. And if putting the patient and understanding that in all that we do, that this is affecting somebody's family life, it's affecting somebody's ability to get up in the morning and go to work,
Right.
and it's unacceptable to cut corners. It's
Mhm.
unacceptable to produce products that don't have what they say they're in them. And at the end of the day, if we can keep in mind that if it were our mother or our daughter or
Right.
son that we're receiving these products, you better believe that the 150% effort to putting in everything that we do, would be there. So really the World CBD Awards that are in July 17th through 19th in Barcelona, Spain, we're really focused on, best in class products, extraction techniques, really spotlighting those that have paid the price. And although it may have not been the quickest route to get to where they are, they have really not cut corners and have worked hard, to produce products and brands and processes and techniques, that are effective. And so we want to spotlight that and bring together the industry in a celebration of that, to really carry that narrative through.
That's awesome. I'm super stoked about this, and I'm very thankful that Andrew asked me to join the the team that's putting this all together, the wizards, if you will, behind the show, because these are pretty extraordinary people that we get to speak with on a weekly basis due to Andrew and his involvement, and it's been fantastic just talking about who should be there, who should be speaking. We're really looking at the R&D focus because and it's not just domestic, it's international, so that people like Andrew mentioned that are GMP certified, that understand dosing. Dosing is huge in this industry. People are constantly misdosed. I'm not saying overdose purposely, it's misdosed, because you're not going to overdose on CBD or medical cannabis. Medical cannabis, you may have that ultra psycho effect, and then you'll concentrate with CBD to take that off the edge, but you're not going to overdose. But the dosing is a big problem in this industry. And I feel, just if you look at the dosing for Epidiolex, for example, it's a high dose based on the price point for this drug, right?
Sure.
So
sure.
It's like, why are we taking so much CBD?
Right. Well, and
to treat epilepsy.
I think it's important to really understand that medical cannabis and CBD are very personal to each person. Exactly. And there's influences that really play in the efficacy of those compounds. So understanding that nutrition, if we're slugging down sugar and fried foods all day and trying to get a benefit from inflammation reduction, they're negating each other. So that's understanding that metabolic function plays a role in how people metabolize. And so, with, just taking a product, it really requires CBD and medical cannabis is a systemic treatment. So it requires a lifestyle change to really get the benefit that we're hoping for from these products. So
the neat thing about this, and I'm just going to share, you're echoing something that Lindsay mentioned yesterday or our last episode, and Lindsay was echoing something that Ron mentioned the episode before. So what I really appreciate is the same message, the same voice from all of these professionals, Christina, that we are blessed to have the opportunity to talk to on this episode.
Yeah.
Just mentioning and preaching the same word in cannabis. It's beautiful.
It's fantastic. And, one of the things that I am very pleased about is the fact that, we have so many people that are very aligned with, and just like Andrew has, within his network that he's shared with me. I think that's one of the awesome things about this, folks, is that, we are so collaborative, right? So if Andrew says, hey, see, I have this person you might want to talk to, and I have somebody, or Wayne has somebody, we kick it back into our network. We're constantly communicating and sharing information. We don't hold information as power. That's not how we work. And that's very obscure, I know, to some people.
Too many people in this industry do.
Yeah, and that's not what we're about. And we're not trying to jump on top of people here, folks. We're not, gorilla on the Empire State Building. That's not what we do here, folks.
Yeah, it's really about a collaborative effort. Go ahead.
Yeah, and the power is really in the sharing of that knowledge. We realize that we're not going to cross the finish line alone, and nor would we want to. But it's important for us to understand, and I train my teams this way, is that if we can operate from a place of trust and a place of vulnerability, understanding that, I have weaknesses that someone on my team brings strengths to, that in that synergy is where the magic really happens. And I think that application towards the industry itself is really, we're seeing team building, we're seeing the law of attraction, right? People are finding each other for the right reasons, and it's that collaboration that's moving the dial. It's the collaboration that's moving advocacy forward, and really understanding that if we can work together as a team, as an industry, and all get on the same page, that we can recreate really a better and more beautiful landscape for our families and for our health and wellness moving forward.
I love it.
Well, and a good leader in my book, regardless of this being cannabis or CBD or whatever this is, whatever we're trying to do, a good leader in my book, you know, with my organizational management degree back in the day, one of the things, you know, we always studied Covey, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've always tried to do, and that I saw my dad do very eloquently, even as a Teamster, is that, you know, as a good leader, what you're good at, and what you're not good at, you're open enough to say, hey, look, I'm not good at this. I need help. Can you help me?
Right.
And I think that's what, like, the three of us on this phone call are so good about doing. Like, I am terrible at some of the things that Wayne does with ease, and some of the things you do, Andrew. You know, I know I'm not good at everything. I mean, heck, I can't be good at everything, and no one can. So I think the fact that we accept our shortcomings and we learn, we continuously build our peripheral toolbox. Like when I speak at graduations, this is one of the things I talk about all the time. Build that toolbox, both from a professional and personal standpoint, because you will always achieve your purpose.
Absolutely. I think it's important to, you know, for me, this mission is very spiritual in nature, and understanding that, you know, we're doing something that's much bigger than all of us, and it's going to require us locking arms to accomplish that mission. So, you know, with the expertise that Christina brings, and Wayne brings, and Andrew brings, you know, collectively, the synergy of that result is very, very powerful. And I think that's really what, you know, kind of the overarching draw for us is that we actually are building something that's much bigger than us, and it's going to require us working together to do it.
Right.
So
I mean,
it's awesome.
We had someone come to us 2 days ago, and she needed help. And she's in the industry, and she's building some new things within her preview. And so she said, hey, look, I have a question regarding this one thing, right? And it wasn't something I could do. It was not something, it was tech-based. I'm not a tech person. So I understand it, but I can't do it. And so I said, oh, okay, well, I'm going to send an email to Wayne because he knows how to do this. And he'll help you, you know? And, you know, it's kind of like Mikey, like you know, back in the day, I'm aging us here with the cereal.
Oh yeah, let's not reference that. I have no idea what you're talking about. Mikey, who's Mikey? Andrew, I don't know.
Not enough caffeine this morning. Too much caffeine.
I'm drinking my San Francisco today. Phil's coffee. I love Phil's. So I'm kind of ramped up now. But, you know, like I said to her, hey, shoot me a text if you have further questions. And one of the things she said to me was, thank you. I appreciate you, because nobody wants to help me. And I was upset by that, because that's not who we are, you know, and all the people we work closely with, like you, Andrew, we're all in it together. And it just made me so sad, because people want to, again, like King Kong on her and trample on top of her instead of helping her. And yeah, she's a woman. So here we go with this empowerment stuff again. Like, why can't we just all get along? You know, like we're all looking for different things. We're not stealing out of the same pot here from a funding standpoint.
Right. And to your point, you know, with, you know, the hundreds of emails that come in every day, you know, when an email comes in from a patient that needs help, that automatically trumps everything else, right? Because I have to put myself in the position of that person. They're sitting at home. They may be in horrible pain or dealing with some, you know, condition that's you know, wrecking their lives. And so for me to sit on my me to sit on my hands and not act on that and try to help, to me is criminal, right? So I think it's the pretense of a lot of folks in this industry is what's in it for me, and we've really got to change that what's in it for you. We've got to, you know, it's how much we can bring to the table, not how much we can take off of it.
Right.
That's the truth. That's the truth that other matter in this industry.
And at the end of the day, you have to be able to look in that mirror, okay, and go, yep, I believe in that person. I know that I'm here for a good reason, and I'm here to help people. And I think, the three of us on this phone call and every single one of our people who've been on our show thus far, I think we're on episode 14 with Andrew, right?
So.
Yeah.
That's my favorite number too. So
is it?
Oh, yay! That's
perfect,
fantastic.
Perfect.
But we're all trying to do this to help people, like patients first. Like one of the things that Wayne and I talked about yesterday is we want people to know we put the people, in the C-suite organizations across these companies and on the board for APA, we put people first. We're the people's C-class. We're the people's team. That's what we're looking to do here, folks. It's not all just about the glory and the fame, because trust me, I don't want people to recognize me at Target when my hair looks a mess and I have my yoga pants on. That happened last Sunday. It wasn't nice. It wasn't pretty. I looked like a mess.
Right.
Hey,
I'm
everybody.
a human too, and a patient.
We're going to have to wrap it up. She did remind me about 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
But real quick, Andrew, the synergy you mentioned, and us working together collaboratively, it only brings strength to the industry and the community as a whole. Right. That's the beauty of what we're doing, working with like-minded individuals with kindred spirits on the same path and same mission. It's all about the patient and, a better wellness for every individual. At least that's how I feel as well.
Absolutely. And our philosophy as a company is if we do things right, that the rewards will follow. Sometimes that's not the easiest path, and it's not the path of least resistance, but the output of what that, that work and that labor is a gift, right? When we get to the end. And, the rewards do come. So it's been just a pleasure to be part of this industry and be part of the solution, and
I know. It's good
Thank you
stuff.
for having me on this morning. I love chatting with you guys, and can't wait to be in Philly here soon to throw you both in a headlock. So
yeah,
I'm too old. I just celebrated the 39th birthday, so I'm too old for a headlock anymore. I might hurt something, but we'll certainly embrace. I'm a hugger, so it'll be beautiful. See, you want to take us out of here?
Sure, absolutely. Thank you so much this morning for coming on, Andrew. I know it's very early on the East Coast, but it was great chatting with you. And you know what? We'll have Andrew on again, guys, as we get closer to the World CBD Awards, because we'll want to have a show just specifically on that once we open it up for ticket sales and sponsorships, which we're getting close on, guys. I'm so excited. And personally, and of course, selfishly, I get to see you guys twice in the same month. And so, that's just fantastic because I haven't seen you face-to-face since last year, and I miss you. And so
absolutely,
thank you so
likewise
much for coming on.
Thank you for the time this morning, guys. My pleasure.
Thank you very much, Andrew. And as soon as the webpage is up, shoot it to me. I'll update the YouTube profile or the description, and we'll get that out there. Looking forward to viewing the webpage myself.
Excellent. You got it, guys. Thank you for your time this morning.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.